Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Today, I'm going to be playing with vibration and sound for meditation. This video is being recorded, so shown live, and then we'll share it later, so you can watch it again if you like. I won't be moving around too much. We'll be using our voices today and playing with how vibration of our voices affects our bodies. So before we get started with that, I just invite you to settle into a comfortable position. I'm going to use the language of invitation, which means that I'll suggest something or invite you to try something, but it's not necessary for you to do it if you don't want to. You might just feel like noticing what happens when you hear that invitation, and that might be enough. So we'll just start by feeling ourselves as we're sitting, and that might mean feeling how the cushion feels as you sit on it. Is it firm or soft? What's your balance like as you sit? Are you on a chair or are you on the floor? Are you leaning a little more to your right or to your left? And if your feet are making contact with the floor, what kind of contact are your feet making with the floor? And I invite you to gently, if your feet are making flat contact with the floor, gently push your feet into the floor just a tiny bit so that you feel your legs slightly engaged. And it may or may not change how you're sitting in your chair, but just notice what happens if you just very, very gently push your feet into the floor. Notice where in your legs you feel it. Notice where in your hips and your torso you feel it, and your spine. Notice what happens to your breath. Now I invite you to notice your breath a little more clearly. So maybe place a hand on your belly so you can feel the movement of your body as you breathe in and out. Maybe as you inhale, your abdomen actually pushes your hand out a little bit. And what does that do to your sense of balance? Your sense of contact with the floor and with the chair? Now I'm going to invite you to notice the sound of your breath as you breathe in and out. If you breathe through your nose, what does the air sound like as it moves through your nostrils and your sinuses? Are you able to sense or feel or hear the air as it moves through the back of your throat? What does it sound like as you exhale? I invite you to put your other hand on your chest if you want, just to feel that expansion of your lungs as you inhale. And how is that different than the hand that's on your belly? With the hand on your chest, maybe you can hear the air as it enters your lungs. Sense or imagine or hear the sound of your lungs expanding and contracting with each breath. I invite you to notice what your shoulders feel like as you breathe in and out. What the back of your neck feels like as you breathe in and out. And I invite you to notice the sounds around you in the room around you. You may have pure silence for a moment. You may have voices in another room. You may have the wind outside or a car passing. What do you hear inside your body, outside your body? What do you hear inside the room you're in? What do you hear outside the room you're in? And where do these sounds settle in your body? I ask you to notice the sense of contact of your hands on your chest and your belly. And I invite you to hold an intention of kindness toward this person that you are holding. Kindness, respect, and care for just this moment. And I invite you to notice what you're able to receive from the hands that are holding you. With the next few breaths, I invite you to slowly allow your hands to float away from your body. As you do that, I invite you to notice whatever sensations of contact remain in your chest, in your belly, in your hands. You may feel a warm glow. You may feel cool air where there was once a warm hand. But just notice that that little bit of contact, that little bit of contact leaves an impression, leaves a sensation, leaves an imprint, an energy that's still there. Now I invite you to gently place a couple fingers at the base of your throat And I'm gonna invite you to make sound with me. So I think all the participants have their sounds muted, but your voice will mix with my voice, and we'll play with a few sounds and notice how sound and vibration move our bodies physically. So the first sound is just a sound. And if you make that sound, you might be able to feel with your fingers resting on your chest or your clavicle, you might be able to feel them vibrate as you make that sound. And you might even feel your chest vibrate with your palm on your chest. And that sound vibrates our vagus nerve. Our vagus nerve passes through our middle ear, through our larynx, through our chest and our lungs, into our gut. And it's part of our nervous system that has to do with telling our brains how much safety or danger we have. And humming is a way of toning that system. It's a way of helping it to calm down, helping it to be a little more energized if you're shut down, but it's also a way of calming or helping to let something be present. So I offer humming, just a sound. And it's a sound that has many meanings. Can mean, I'm not sure, or let me think about it, or that's a new flavor of ice cream I've never had before. It's generally speaking, it's one that allows you to pause a little bit. It just gives you a little space before you have to say yes or no or commit to anything. It gives you a moment to breathe. And just be with yourself. Have permission to have whatever feeling you're having. What am I feeling right now? Just notice what it feels like to have your voice vibrate in your hand. Have your hand press the vibration back into your chest again. Vibrations travel through solid things more clearly than through air. So you should be able to feel in your hand what you can't feel directly in the air. So pause with It's a gentle boundary. And then the next sound is ah. And if you make an ah sound, that might be the sound that you make if you want to engage a baby in play. You might say ah. And what does that feel like if you make the sound ah? Another sound is is like and sometimes they go together. But can mean enjoyment. Can mean sympathy. Can mean agreement. It's a gentle, safe sound. I don't think I've ever heard an aggressive but and where do you feel So you might try placing fingers along your jaw, and see if you can vibrate your jaw, vibrate your sinuses, And is also a sound that can go to the top of your head. So I have a hairy head. Some people don't have hair on their heads, but I'm going to invite you to just very gently float your fingers as if they're floating on your hairline, and then send an up to the top of your head. And you may be able to perceive vibration in your hair as your hand floats on your head. And I'm offering this as a demonstration of how much our voices vibrate our own bodies and how much our voices vibrate the space around us. And it's a demonstration of how our voices are a reflection of our nervous system and how our voices affect the nervous systems of the people that we communicate with. So I'm offering you the sound of your own voice and exploring how your voice sounds. So the next thing I'm going to invite you to try is to cup your hands in front of your face. And if you bring your fingers close enough to your face, I'm sideways, not just so that you can see what I'm doing, but also so you can still hear me. But if you cup your hands to your face, you can send your voice back into your own ears. So I'm going to invite you to say your name to yourself. It could be a whisper, but I'm inviting you to say your name and notice what your name sounds like to you. You could whisper your name, you could say your name out loud. And as you say your name, I invite you to hold the same intention of kindness that you held when you were holding your own heart. So as you say your name with kindness, notice how it feels to hear your name spoken by your voice. I invite you to notice what it feels like to your nervous system to hear your voice going back to your ears. Right? And with the next breath, I invite you to offer some kindness, some word of kindness to this person that you're speaking to right now with your voice to you. And notice what it feels like to hear you say those words. What are you able to receive from the voice that's speaking to you? With as much kindness and compassion to the person that you're speaking to. Yeah. Yeah. Just notice what that's like. And with the next breath in and out, I invite you to make some sounds with me, some long out breath sounds that will help regulate your heart and your lungs. Yeah. So the sounds are ah, oh, mm. And I don't assign any meaning to them. They're just sounds that resonate in different parts of our body. And I'll make the sounds that will help us to have long out breaths. It's easier to make long out breaths when you're holding a sound. So I'll make a sound and I invite you to resonate your voices with my voice. I'm going to hold my hands to my heart because I like feeling the vibration. And I'm sending you the intention of contact, of safe, warm, firm connection. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love your feedback. Please feel free to send questions, comments, and I hope to see you again. Thank you.